Hi y'all, Freeze Cracked here. Hey, I'm sacrificing big time for you today because I haven't been filming as much because I have to turn the fan off because the fan noise, you can hear it, in the video. So, see if I can get this a little straighter. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a piece of a Pedernales amoeba, and I don't know how good the rock is, but it's more important than usual how good the rock is because I was going to try and do some abo napping just for fun. I try and practice that every once in a while, and usually I don't show it to you. But and the reason I don't show it to you is because I don't want you to abo nap like I do, because I don't do it right or don't do it well. And the reason I don't do it well is because I haven't done it enough. And the reason I haven't done it enough is because it's so hard on my arms and shoulders and neck and everything like that from the extra amount of work required, that it has a tendency to injure me a little. But I like it. I think it's interesting. I think for younger people that are stronger than me and have good joints and everything like that, it's a fun thing to do. This is one of those rocks that has weird, thicker cortex on it than most Pedernales rocks. And it's an odd shape, so I've got to watch it because it's got this big old bend in it. I'm not going to talk a lot about what I'm doing because I don't think what I'm doing is that great, so it really is meant to be more of an amusement exercise. Now the reason that hinged out is because I didn't get enough force into it. Because I'm not used to swinging these. I'm used to swinging, the boppers with a handle on them. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to get some major force on this to do some actual real good with just a couple of hits. So I've got a plane right there that might be helpful if I do it right. I don't know, it doesn't feel like a great angle, but so that was more or less what I want to do with that. This is really weird the way that's got a little, that looks like there was a shell in it that formed, sediment went in it differently from the rest of the rock. I don't have good enough assortment of rocks. That worked. Kind of cut that end off a little bit. And that did pretty good with that one hit. Okay. But I still got a big old bow in that thing. I'm going to try and come into here without getting more into that hinged area. Just downward a little bit. blew right by that hinge there a little bit because I'm trying to bring this up a little, come back across here. It's not up enough. I'm trying to decide if any of this end is of value to me. I've really been debating with myself what nap ends to go to. I kind of would, I would like to go to Flint Ridge because it's the biggest one in the country. I've never been there before. But it's like 19 hours drive. And then I'd like to go to Bodark. It's the second biggest one. I think it's like 14-hour drive or something. Of course, if I went there, it'd be good because I could go by on the way and bug Marty again. That'd be great. I'm going to try and hit this one with an antler for grins. Like this. That wouldn't work. That worked. The platforms and all are completely different on abo from copper. No similarity. And I usually don't get it right. One of the things I don't get right is the abrading, because sometimes I abrade too hard for lightweight billets, but then sometimes I don't get things abraded enough for heavier strikes because it's hard to do what Marty calls the scrunching. It's hard for me to do it strongly enough to remove enough material to strengthen anything, which I'm not real sure why. I guess it's just the grit doesn't cut as much as on a carbide type abrader. Now I'm starting to regret choosing this rock because this rock has all kinds of cool striping on it that I could have definitely made something good out of with my usual tools and techniques. And the odds are much lower with these tools and techniques for me. But oh well. There will be other rocks. I don't know if you knew that you could hit above the edge with antler, but you can. I mean, just gotta, if you've got enough strength to overcome the fact that antler is soft and doesn't have a lot of good hardness to initiate a flake without a lot of effort. It'll do what needs to be done. You just got to be a beast, which I'm not. That's the problem. Shouldn't be talking about Marty all the time, but when you see him in action, the first time I ever saw him in action, he was doing some experimental archaeology at a Galt site, and you know, I had been hitting a while. I hadn't done a huge amount of abo, but I'd been hitting a while, but I was absolutely shocked and amazed by his power. And the way that it manifested itself was in the speed at which he could accelerate a billet or a hammerstone. Because he could take a big old rock, you know, half the size of my head or something, and not that my head's that big, but maybe you think it is, but and he could just, you know, more or less instantly accelerate it and take a flake. Well, see how I'm not really taking a flake? He would accelerate this 3 times as fast and take a big old honking flake, in spite of the relative softness of this hammerstone. It's like a sandstone, and granted I'm hitting above the edge, but this is not a particularly hard rock, so that's why. But when it comes to the scrunching, the grinding, and everything like that, your strength matters. Somebody tells you that your strength doesn't matter, and abo napping is misinforming you. What am I going to do here? I'm rambling. I mean, that's not horribly off kilter, but I need to get some these glancing blow things. You know, you don't have to grab a copper, and if you get a steep platform, it's kind of an issue. Some of this stuff would be just child's play for me with a copper. I really need a medium size. I've got all these different grits of things. This is an interesting example in that this is a hard quartzite type thing, but because it's been used so much and battered around here, the edges operate almost more like it was a sandstone. So it's kind of like a hard sandstone, which you know is exactly what I need some of the time. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Oh, let's go with a little bit of more delicate edge work. I just want to work it on around, zigzagging kind of. Grab back.